Boom. Okay, y'all. Coming on back with another stream. Few things, well, just a few things about this specific topic we got to discuss. And yes, we still will be live later tonight. I'm just knocking out a few things I wanted to discuss now because tonight's stream, definitely gonna be cut shorter. But yeah, let's get into this thing here in 1 second. Make sure this sound is good. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Pull some stuff up, and then we'll get started at about the 2 minute mark. Because this is basically just a live video, not like a live long stream. I just wanted live stream. I just wanted to do a live video here, and I give you all my thoughts on another recent retirement. Because I've been calling for this for a minute now. It's weed 'em out season, and we might have two more fighters, but we got another fighter added to that list now, right? So 1 minute. 1 minute we can talk. Okay. Especially next week, we will have some nice little shakeups. We will have some nice little shakeups in this ranking next week. Okay. All right, y'all. So yeah, welcome back. Welcome back to another little live stream. So a lot of stuff going on even while I was out for a week. So I said, you know what? I want to come back on and do a couple live videos, even if I do them real quick, just to, fill y'all in that, I've been still in the loop, just not on. But yeah, I'm back and we'll be back again tonight. But yeah, got another fighter laying the gloves in the cage. Actually, we had two. We had two last night. Cowboy Cerrone, and Jessica I. Two fighters that called it quits last night for UFC 276. But of course, we focus on the WMMA fighters. So, this is another one that we've had in the past month now. Y'all know Joanna, she hung it up last month. Now we got Jessica I calling it quits. And, we got Valerie Laredo, which I'll talk about tonight. She's making her transition to another career. Of course, it's not anything major as far as like these fighters because they've been in it longer, but it's still something to talk about because it's about the money situation. So we'll discuss that later. But yeah, Jessica I, she's the most recent fighter in the flyweight division to call it a day after her decision loss to Macy Barber. And like I said, I thought the fight was 30-27. I know some people thought it was getting to be competitive, but I was calling it, but I couldn't give Jessica I any round. I couldn't give her couldn't give her the second round, even off of one takedown. Now, I thought that, Macy Barber pretty much had the fight owned. I thought she just had everything on lock, and she just had Jessica I neutralized, and Jessica I just looking at her body language didn't really have a good approach to the fight. She didn't have like a game plan, didn't use any of her strengths or her experience, So after looking at that performance and, of course, Jessica I feeling the way she felt, she said that was it. She called it quits. Matter of fact, let's pull it up here. She said, okay, following the decision loss to Macy Barber in a post-fight interview, she said, yeah, I think it's time. I've been a pro since 2009. So yeah, it's been a minute now, It's like, 13 years ago. She said, I've been a pro since 2009. I had plenty of UFC fights. I met Macy right after she won the Contender Series, and she was sitting by herself, and I could see the talent in her. I invited her over to sit and talk with me, and not feel like she was alone. If I could give anything back to the sport, is we need to stop separating ourselves and help each other as fighters, protect ourselves in so many ways. I won inside the octagon. I lost. I spent my entire 20s and most of my 30s. I like to see what the rest of the world looks like. Right. All right. So she knows it. She knows it. Like she said, she's met Macy before. She knows she's a talent going into this fight after fighting for so long. It's time for the transition, right? This was kind of like one of those fights, the passing on to the next. Jessica is not like the highest level in this division now. She's what, at the time of this fight, she was ranked number 10. Yeah, about number 10. But she's still bringing a lot of experience to it. And it was a good test for Macy Barber. But now, what else does she have to offer? Nothing else. Nothing else. She says she's been fighting for a long time. And if you look at her resume as well, she's been a test now for quite a few number of fighters. So this is what I'm talking about. Like when we get down to this point, when fighters are just going through the motions and they don't really have like another a rebuilding or a goal set up in front of themselves, it's like, why continue to fight? Why continue to fight on? It's about, to me, the game, the fight game is serious. It's like your life really depends on it. It's not like football. Football can be dangerous, so I ain't gonna say that. But it's not like basketball or tennis or golf. Like you're not putting your life on the line in that type of manner. This is a serious sport, so you have to be shooting for something. And if you just continue to fall through the same, uh, if you just continue to move with the same, what's the word I'm looking for? Same momentum, and you're not really improving, and you don't have it. There's no need to stay around. There's really no need to stay around. So for Jessica I to call it quits, I think it's a good idea now. I was hoping she was before, you know, um, she was even lined up to fight Macy. I was thinking that it was going to be Manon Firo to retire Jessica. If we go all the way back, like that fight was supposed to be back in March, but Jessica had to pull out because of an injury. Jessica comes back, supposed to fight Casey O'Neill. Casey O'Neill has to pull out, and then it becomes Macy. So any of them fighters, whoever she was going to fight, I knew it was that time because out of any of those fighters, Casey, Manon, Macy, they all on a different mission now than just guys. Some of these other fighters, they're just there. That's why I put these fighters up here because it's weed them out season. Like I said, it's weed them out because these fighters here, they're just kind of like they were just there. They're weeds now. They're kind of like in the way. No disrespect, but it's true. That's why Roxanne said, "I'm done now." She was like, "After this fight, I'm done 50 fights. There's nothing really much to offer." And I mean, we all knew that too. Like even a year or two ago, whenever Roxanne was not really calling for the champion, she was just fighting. I made that list before, like back in 2019, 2018, when Roxanne was racking up some wins, against some fighters like Macy Barber and Antonina. I was like, why is she not calling for the belt? I was like, why is she not calling for the belt? What's wrong with her? You know what I mean? She put herself in this situation. Why is she not calling for the belt? And it comes down to her not wanting it. So I was like, okay, that's the first weed. She's in the way. You in here fighting these fighters, but you're not even going for the belt. Then sadly, JoJo. Like I said, I'm a fan of JoJo, but I keep it real as far as, somebody that might be putting their life in danger. JoJo has been coming up short in a lot of fights, a lot of close decision wins or, dominant losses. Yeah, she did kind of 2 years ago mess up her chance against Valentina whenever she took on Jennifer Maia and lost. Since then, she's been knocked off of that trajectory. Not even going to ever see that opportunity again, I think it's safe to say. So even like somebody like JoJo, she started becoming a fighter that's just in the way of deciding who's going to be the next best thing, right? Or who's the next big threat. Like I'm looking at JoJo resume. At the time, she could have been a title contender. She lost to Caitlyn. Then she had beat Andrea Lee by a split decision. And then it was more than likely, 2020 she was going to fight Valentina just by kind of like by default because Valentina already beats some of the other contenders, right? So Valentina has to push the fight back. Jennifer Maia steps in. JoJo loses, right? So that kind of messes her up as looking like a potential. And that's what I was thinking a few months back. It's time for her to go. You know, these fighters like her, Roxy, they just fight. They fight, they win some, they lose, great deal. And there's not really a lot of improvements in there. And there's only so long, like I said, you can be a test for some of these contenders. You know, you fight down the rankings, but eventually, you know, you're gonna face a lot of wear and tear. So JoJo, that's another one I'd say, you know, should be thinking that, you know, it's time to call it a day. And had to mention her, yeah, because of that. And she's no longer in the rankings because I think Macy Barber had mentioned that last night too, that I think she's taking a break or something like that. She might be taking a hiatus. That's why she's out of the rankings. But who knows? You know, she could be, she might be about to announce her retirement soon. Because the way she's moving right now, I don't even know if it would be good to fight one more time. Maybe. But if she's out of the rankings, I don't even think there would be a purpose for JoJo at this point, to me. But back to Jessica Eye, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do because she is on a losing streak here. Let me see her losing streak. She is on she left the game 1, 2, 3, 4 fights. Couldn't get a win. Couldn't get a win the past few years since 2019. Vivian Araujo, right? You know, Calvillo, she didn't offer her anything. JoJo, Maya was probably the closest she came to winning the fight again. But other than that, you know, even with Macy Barber, she didn't really use anything. So if you're not going to be a test anymore, if you're not going to even try, you kind of go through the motions, it's time to go. That's why I say these 3 fighters here, you know, we got 2 weeks plucked out. Maybe JoJo's about to be that one now because she's out of the rankings. But with her out of the rankings and not even officially announcing her retirement, that's still a good thing. That's still a good thing. So she's out. Roxy's out. Jessica Eye's out. So that's 3 out of there. So 3 have been weeded out, the top 15. Make some more room now. Make some more room for this new blood. I would say the next might be Calvillo. You know, I like Calvillo, but I thought she was going down to 115. So I really don't see Calvillo improving or evolving into like a potential monster at flyweight. Yeah, I mean, agree or disagree. I mean, am I wrong? Am I right or wrong on that? I mean, Calvillo had said a little while back she was going back down to 115. Here she is fighting Nina Azaroff at 115. What's the purpose of that? So we got 3 out right now. Who's the next 3 that could be potential weeds that need to be plucked out? Well, some of these fighters, they really need to start thinking about what they want to do. They really got to start thinking about that because this strong little force at the bottom here called Tracy Cortez, Macy Barber, Aaron Blanchfield, they coming. Casey O'Neill, they coming. You know, fighters I said in the past on the chopping block, even the unranked fighters like Montana, you know, she's on that block. But now, the actual ranked ones, you know, Calvillo, she's got to be on the lookout. Jennifer Maia, you know, Jennifer Maia is not really one that's faced a lot of damage. She just hasn't really stepped out of the box. Like, to me, Jennifer Maia just hasn't leveled up in a fight. Like, she holding back. You know, she continues to kind of hold back. Then there's Andrea Lee. You know, Andrea Lee was on her 2-fight win streak, but when I saw how Vivian Araujo handled her, I was like, man, you know, that's not really, you know, that's not a good look for her. I mean, Andrea Lee ran through Calvillo and Shevchenko, but Arujo still held her own and said, no, I'm still another level above you. So they might be the next three: Calvillo, Maya, and Andrea Lee. So they gotta be careful because they're at the bottom of the top 10. And like I said, Macy Barber's over here calling out some fighters. I'm gonna talk about Macy Barber later on again too, because she's talking about Valentina exposed. That's a different story. But you got fighters like Aaron Blanchfield, who's looking for a top 10 spot. So it's going down right now, man. It is. And, this goes for any division in the game, man. Any division in the game, it's about trying to improve and stay ahead because it's cutthroat right now. I think Macy Barber is right, though, when she says, I don't want to fight Casey O'Neill and so on, Aaron and those fighters, because you shouldn't be trying to get prospect versus prospect. Miranda Maverick said that before. Like, Miranda was like, I don't know why I'm fighting Macy here, because we should be fighting some of these veterans. So I agree with them both on that. Like, even if Casey O'Neill calls out Macy, I really don't want to see that fight because it's like 12 and 13. Like, I'd rather see Macy fight Andrea Lee or even like Casey O'Neill fight Jennifer Maya instead of having the prospects fight the prospects. Because it's good to have this new blood fight these old heads, so even y'all fans can stop complaining about why is this person still around. Well, match up a new blood to take out one of these veterans. That's how it's supposed to work. That's why I should be a matchmaker. That's why I be saying I should be a matchmaker, because some of these matches I be making come to light. But some of the ones I'm matching up, it should be made because that's how you get rid of these veterans. Or, like the ones on the downside, that is. Like the ones like Caitlin Chikagan, they still holding it down. So that's going to be a gatekeeper test one day for one of these fighters. But the ones on the downside, Jennifer Maya, should be given to a Casey or Macy and so on. But like right now, I really don't want to see Macy, Casey 12 and 13 back to back. I don't really want to see them fight yet. I don't want to see them fight. Maybe eventually when they get to top 10, same with Aaron, But yeah, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. Jessica I's been added to that retirement list with Roxy. JoJo's out of the rankings. So that's 3. Well, as of recent, that's 2 because Roxy's been gone. That's 2 flyweights out of the rank. 2 more out of the rankings. So by next week, they should be adding somebody else in there because this win probably bumps Macy Barber up to number 11 or number 10 because Jessica I's number 10. So, damn, Macy Barber's going to be in the top 10 again. Another video coming. Is she ready for that top 10 spot again? Because I know with the top 10 spot coming, as much as she hate to say it, her ego going to be juiced up once again. So when Macy Barber get a top 10 spot, she better be ready this time because I can already see it now. Macy Barber goes to number 10. Let's see what I see in the cards. I see Arujo or Lee or Maya. One of them 3 fighters Macy Barber's going to be getting next because she's probably going to be number 10 next week. Y'all see. All right. But yeah, what else I want to talk about with this thing? As far as retirement, who else is retiring? Nobody else. Michelle Waterson, she might be on the horizon to retire. Amanda Lemos, they're lined up to fight, so we'll see what goes on with that, right? Let me check this thing. Yeah, Amanda Lemos and Michelle Waterson. If Lemos goes in there and dominates Michelle Waterson, she probably could be next. But as fast as they are retiring, you are getting a lot of new fighters in the game too. So it ain't like it's over, because a lot of these fighters, I've been saying it's time for them to go. Even like, man, I look back at Joanna. I was like, Joanna's done so much, but she's just not ready for the title in any shape, fashion, or form anymore. So it's like you got to go. Let's see here. Pulling this news up here. Let me see. Yeah, because Macy Barber, yeah, she'll probably be number 10 next week. Jessica I, let's see, before we go, since she's retired, that was the last fight we'll cover with her on this channel as well. Last round by round with her. Let's look at her record anyways. 15-11. Yeah, it was definitely time to go. 15-11 over the course of her UFC career, which was 9 years ago. She started in the UFC back in 2013. Fought in Bellator. I know some people forgot about that. Yeah, she fought in Bellator. No contest against Sarah Kaufman. Lost her second fight against Alexis Davis. One of the fights I remember Jessica I for was the Leslie Smith fight. Y'all remember that fight when she busted Leslie Smith's ear open? That was like one of the fights I remember Jessica I mostly for. Like, that was like her signature win. Like when I can't remember if it was the right or the left ear, she landed a big shot to Leslie Smith's ear and it just popped and that thing was hanging off. So I think it was Herb Dean had to stop that fight. That was like 8 years ago though. I don't know if a lot of people remember that, but yeah, that was like the big win I remember her about, because after that, she went on like a 5-4 fight with losing streak. Let's see who she lost to. Yeah, Jessica I lost to Misha Tate, Pena, McMahon, Betch. Oh yeah, if you losing to Betch like that, it might be time. Even back then, let's see, she beat Caitlin Kagan, Jessica Rose, Kalinda Faria. I don't even think she's in the UFC anymore. And then her signature win, Leslie Smith, but y'all remember her signature loss, was that head kick knockout to Valentina. All right. That's the big win and the big loss she's remembered for. But then she bounced back and beat Viviane Araújo. I was surprised about that. And that was her last win. Very last win in the UFC was Viviane Araújo. Then once again, she loses 1, 2, 3, 4 fights in a row. So when you look at a resume like that, the fashion that a fighter loses and the lack of improvements, it's not hate. It's just being real when you say that. When you say it's time for you to go. And I'm glad that another fighters finally came to that choice. But it's getting contagious, man. I think a lot of these women are starting to see that there's other things they can be doing, especially if they know they're not improving. And that's what they're supposed to do, man. Like you ain't getting better and you tired of seeing the same outcome and you wondering why have I not been able to win? Like, why did this happen again? Well, take a look at the tapes. Take a look at what's going on. You just ain't getting there. You just aren't improving. Is it worth to stick around and take the damage? I don't think so. For somebody like Roxanne, she could find her career in doing something with cosplaying, right? She's a instructor. She's a teacher. She can do that. She's got a grappling match coming up right now. JoJo, she's a wife and a mother. She can find something to do like Megan Anderson with the UFC, other than fight, commentator, something, working for the PI, something. And Jessica, she said she wants to see the world. So yeah, I mean, fight game, it's a brutal, it's a brutal little stage in their career. So that's why I always say fighters that choose to fight smart, fight more defensive minded, don't go in there and brawl. That's the way you're supposed to do it when it comes down to it. I know people might say, "Oh, it's boring, this and that," but if you want to be able to enjoy your life and have a longer career, that's how you're supposed to. That's how you're supposed to do it. But yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here. Like I said, I'll be back on later. Um, yeah, final thoughts. I'm glad that another fighter's out of there. Weed them out. That's what it's about. Weed them out. Make room for these next monsters. That'll bump up Manon Fury closer. Macy's probably gonna be in the top 10 again. She talking crazy though. Valentina being exposed in her opinion, so we got to talk about that later. Let's see. Casey O'Neill said, "I'll see Macy Barber next year." I don't want to see that fight right now. Next week we'll have somebody new in the top 15. So yeah, weed them out. Maya, Lee, Cavillo. They better be watching. They might be on that chopping block. Who else? Montana, chopping block. Jillian Robertson, chopping block. They better watch out. Antonina Shevchenko, chopping block. Unranked fighters, they ain't safe. See, that's why I said Molly McCann, she found her lane. You know what I mean? Like, she unranked, but she still got something going for her. She got a big fan base. And they matching her up. But oh, hang on before I go. Oh, coach said I'm cooking Macy today. Hey, I'm gonna come back on later and talk about it about 7. But if you go on later on, coach, whatever time you go on, I'm gonna be there. Because yeah, she talking about, yeah, that's just a little intro to later, man. Macy Barber said Valentina has been exposed in each of her fights. Like, where did this come from? I can't even wait to talk about that. Now I'm like, where did this come from? Like, how did she get exposed? Like, how did she get exposed? Like, you see one fight and now it's like, now Macy Barber, she said it at the post fight. She said Valentina's been exposed in more than one fight. I'm like, okay. Sounded like Mikey Garcia, where you see something. If you see something, you can see something all day. Like, I can see something, but do you have the right equipment to stop that fighter? That's the point. So yeah, man, that's what it is. All these fighters, they put on notice. They're on the chopping block. They better watch out. Make sure y'all hit the like button. I'm gonna be back on later, about 7. I just wanted to get this one out the way because we're gonna start doing these videos when it's time for somebody to go. Coach said he cooking. He gonna cook her out. Well, you got to. This is one of those situations. This is a situation where you got to, because it's like, as soon as you win, why does the champion's name always got to come up? Why can't y'all just, you know what? If Macy called out Manon, I would have been happier, because I'd have been like, call her out. Call Manon out. Like, somebody right there in the top 10, not the champion. Call out Viviane Araújo. Say, Viviane Araújo, I beat her. I beat Andrea Lee. Now I'm gonna retire Viviane Araújo. I'm gonna get Manon out of there. Manon thinks she gonna be the next thing. I'm gonna get her out of there. Why is it about exposing the champion when you ain't even ready? In the same breath, you say you ain't ready, right? But yeah, let me save some of that fire. I'll get back on later, y'all. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.